Okay, now remember one thing about this debate that's important. Of course, we're being polite. When I give you the floor, your team goes and presents your city-state. You do that. And the other team presents their city-state. And then we start to answer this question. And that's the debate where we can go back and forth. And then you just can raise your hand and I will recognize you to speak. Okay? So this is our back and forth question. The first part is just presenting your city-state. Who are you, what you're about, whatever. That's the part you could easily prepare for that we worked on before. Now, another important thing about the debate is you are representing that city-state. I am not requesting that you be an Athenian. I mean, if you feel like you want to be that, that's fine, but I'm only requesting that you represent them, right? And as we noticed, we're talking about the ancient Greek context. I'm not asking you, of your heart, you don't even have to agree with your city-state. You have to represent them. Do you see the difference? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm not trying to get you to speak against your convictions. Okay, you're just speaking in place. We'll use an eraser, small eraser, and it has one side has a mark on it, so that'll be the head. Okay. So who are you? Heads or tails?
Tails.
Okay. So I'll just flip it and wherever it goes.
What the?
Up. And tails is up. Mm-hmm. So Athens goes first.
Oh wait.
In presenting.
So, should I start now?
Yeah.
So, good morning, everybody. We are from the city-states Athens. As you know, it was named after our goddess Athena, and the location, specific location for our city-state Athens is in Greece, Attica.
Okay. So our city-state of Athens, our government was a democracy, and there was three parts to our democracy: the assembly, the council, and the courts. So the assembly was where like a small group of people would come and present laws, and then it would be headed down to the council, and then they'll be agreed upon people, and if you could come and vote for other things. And the courts used like for justice for somebody murdered somebody or anything happened in the city-state of Athens. So I'll head on to Leo.
And so ancient Athens, they had contributed much knowledge to the world. And we wouldn't be the world we are today. And so they basically invented the school. And for this, they contributed much to philosophy. And those people who contributed were Aristotle, Socrates, and Thales. And for science, they had Hippocrates. And for mathematics, they had Euclid and Pythagoras. And for literature, they had many who wrote on the things. And so without them, we wouldn't be the world we are today. And had good economy, trading.
Okay. Thank you, the representatives of the Athens. And we're going to hear from the representatives of Sparta.
This is Furman.
Okay, we are representing Sparta, and the location or where it's at is in southern part of Greece, or in other words, the Peloponnesus. And yeah, so I'll move it on.
Okay, well, our government was made up of this group of elders, and they chose like everything. They chose who was going to be in the military. They chose when they were going to take people, when they were going to have war, when people were going to get married, when people were going to have businesses. They chose like everything, and these people would vote. And I think at one time when they were younger, they also had like a king, right? But then they were like, oh no, and they just had these elders that made these decisions. It was like an oligarchy. And now Wong is going to say. Wong?
Okay. Let's see. Okay, our achievements is not like we are like in physical training, so we haven't done much achievement. But in the ancient world, military and strength is much kind of like use very much philosophy and geometry. All of them are philosophers. They are very good, but in the ancient world, the strength was kind of like the top based on. Yeah, so they have the military strength, and at kind of like the age of like 7, they are in training, and yeah, they're specialized in fighting.
Well,
And,
Okay, did you want to say anything else about the Spartan
That's-
educational system?
that's not what we were planning for him to say. I don't know.
oh no, you're
So I
you
don't
don't have connections.
Oh, it is harder to talk right now.
Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
That's
So like,
That's fine. You can still add. Anybody can add anything you want to your presentation.
okay. So like, I guess I'll add some about like the life of the Spartans. Like they begin, they have their life and they're like little baby and then they're like little kid and they go to like a school and like all the boys go to school, all the girls go to school and they have like a lot of training, like for military and like I don't know, like that kind of thing.
What kind of training is it? Just like PE?
No, I mean it's like
harsh training.
I mean like it,
Can you give an example of what harsh would be?
PE for what?
You're forced to steal.
They were
like yeah, they said like something about like you have to steal to learn to provide for yourself or something. Yeah, and like making your own like bed or whatever. Stuck in barracks. Yeah, like everyone just lived together and like it's kind of like free for all. That's what I imagine. Like when I read the description of it, it seems like everyone for your own self or whatever kind of training for both girls and guys.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Uh-huh.
Mom, you can add anything you want to say.
No, yeah, it's okay.
I mean, I don't know. I researched most on this. That's
Okay.
the only thing I know.
All right. Well, we're going to get to our question now. Between these two city-states that you've presented, which one offers the best political and societal model for the ancient Greek context? In other words, other city-states, should they follow the Athenian example or should they follow the Spartan example? Please speak to this.
Oh. It would be Athens, of course.
I would like you to raise your hand just because I want to keep
Please.
anyone who wants to speak, just go like this and then I'll recognize you
Well,
and
I
you have
did
the floor.
this.
Okay, I just so that we're all clear. Okay, so you have the floor first.
So, of course, it would be Athens because we were a civilized people. And we had a democracy, and it included all the citizens of Athens. And for the Spartans, they had this oligarchy, and only a selected few can be part of this. Why not the other people? Should it be just a few people rule over some people in Sparta? That's not fair.
Okay, we have Long and then Elizabeth.
Okay. So you say it was only ruled by kind of like small people, but if we look at how the democracy rules, it's kind of like the people rule. So they didn't have the best intention for the government. So they kind of goes everywhere they want, such as you see the death of Socrates.
Oh, he has a point there. Did you get his point? The death of Socrates reveals a weakness in the democracy.
In democracy. And
Okay, you're
in our government, we didn't have too much troubles or anything that says. It's just that like the small people kind of like make all the decisions and
Excuse me, just wonder, what do you mean the small people make? Oh, a small number
a small
of people.
number of people,
Okay.
yeah.
So like, if you remember, like during Peloponnesian War, then everyone was like having their own idea, and they just like it ended up to be like this really bad place to live because they had no order. Everyone had their own idea. Then there's these leaders that are trying to get to power. They're like, oh, we'll do whatever the people want. But with the oligarchy, you have a couple people. And these people are not like just common people. They didn't know anything. They were like wise elders who had known the people for a while. They would make decisions based on what they knew before and what they'd seen throughout their whole life.
So you're saying there's more stability
Yeah,
with the
it was-
oligarchy than with the democracy
Yeah.
where
Oh.
people's thoughts go.
Oh.
Okay, Jiguna is next, Jiguna.
Mm.
What if there's a few corrupt people in your oligarchy? Then
Oh.
all the Spartan government is corrupt, and Sparta falls.
Okay, wait, I would let them, if anyone want to respond to that. Okay, Elizabeth.
But
And
what
then you
if
can
in your democracy everyone is corrupt?
But
Like,
what if everybody in yours is corrupt?
I know, but like the thing is, all the leaders even were like, just whatever.
The
we
people
want.
can't do anything.
Are you making a discussion here?
I don't mind you going back and forth, but I just want to be able to let everyone have a turn. So, okay, Leo.
Okay, so you say oligarchy is fine. Okay, so you ruled over us and you used this oligarchy thing. Did it turn out fine? Is everything all right? No, it fell.
Okay, can you give us a concrete example of how the oligarchy failed?
I forgot actually.
Okay, Jiguna, did you want to say something? No?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just checking. Okay. Over here, anyone besides Elizabeth want to say something? Wong, then Elizabeth.
Okay.
Okay.
So
you
you say it's like that, but in the common people rules, they have different decisions and everything. So the top people, you can see in history that every civilizations had kind of like the top people where it controls all of the civilians. So they made achievements. So yeah, the people ruled by the people had their own decisions and kind of like intentions. So they cannot mix together and make a one decision.
So you're saying that it's too hard for a big group of people to make one decision. You
Yeah.
need a small group
A small
to be effective. That's your point. Elizabeth's next, and then go and Leo.
I mean, but what happened? Like, you guys ended up surrendering to us because your like whole like society like fell apart with your government, with your military. Your like leader died, and so you didn't even know what to do anymore. And then like with us, even though we have like maybe there is corrupt people, but we have more than one leader. Like they're all in agreement, like several of them. So even if one died, there would still be others to hold the people together.
So you're making a point specifically that we have an historical example of how Athens failed, their democracy failed
Yeah.
during the Peloponnesian War. Okay? Go.
But then democracy gives the people much more freedom to give their thoughts. Right? Oh, I don't know how to say this.
Yeah, no,
but
that's-
you guys get it, right? Yeah, that's it.
And you guys just like brainwash your citizens. Like you just use them as little puppets for you to use, and they don't even know it. That's wrong. And what about equality for others? Go ahead.
Actually,
Wait, I was just over here. Does anybody else want to say anything? Okay.
so fast. Actually, though, like all of the people were like that. Even the leaders were like part of the normal people. It wasn't like, oh, okay, we have a king. Everyone hail to king, and he
So you're
was
saying
king.
your leaders participated in
Yeah,
the military
like the leaders were
campaigns?
part of the military. They were like usually like soldiers that had gone through a lot of time in the military, then they become experienced, you know. But then, like instead, like we're not using. Everyone has the same experience, like. Everyone, every single person. It's not just one person over everyone, like, okay, you're doing this stuff for me, you know?
Are you saying you don't have generals and people who are on the top?
No, but what I'm saying is, like, the generals didn't come from just, oh, okay, you're a general all of a sudden. Like, everyone has had experience, and, like, the whole population is working to protect the
Okay,
city.
everybody is trained.
It's not
to
like
be-
we have a group of people, okay, you guys are like slaves, you're gonna go do all this hard stuff.
Oh, that's a good question, because I've heard both sides talk about equality. And is it true that everyone had a voice in Athens? Is that
Not
true?
everyone.
No.
Okay, and was everyone equal in Sparta? Maybe we need to address that question.
Wait,
I've heard several people say that they all had a voice. Is that true? Do you want to speak to it, Jiguna?
I would
No,
like to speak.
no,
No,
you're
no,
gonna make it worse. You're gonna make it worse.
Wait, I would like
You see, we reached this side.
You're gonna make it this low. No, you're gonna. Don't want to bring us to toes.
Wait, Leo, we still need the truth here, okay?
Okay, that's true though. Okay, if they want it first.
If they want to
can
say-
yeah, if they want to say,
They want to
they can.
No, if I remember correctly, reading in my history book, it said that only a small population of male citizens could vote. I know that the population is not mostly male, but it is also women and slaves and kids, people from other countries that aren't citizens because their
Foreigners.
father is not Greek.
Very good
So,
point.
if you were not a Greek citizen, male above a certain age, you couldn't vote. And what if the population is not all Greek male citizens above that age?
Good point.
Does your oligarchy include slaves, women, and children? Do they?
Oh no! They even do a even smaller few of people. What do you have to say to that?
Okay, so his point, if I get it correctly, is that even though there was only a small percentage actually voting in the democracy, it was still more than those who participated in the oligarchy. That was the point. Okay, Keisha.
But our girls, just like the boys, I'm going to say they also went through training. So
Okay, now Keisha's bringing up an interesting point. The Spartan woman's life compared to the Athenians' woman's life.
Yeah.
What could we have to say about that?
Don't even bring up women.
Okay.
All right, wait just 1 second. Anyone over here want to say anything before Elizabeth does?
You say that it only has multiple kind of like rules, and that the normal slave, and then they didn't have any rule, right? We never said we have an equality, so you can't say that.
Oh, that's true. They didn't make that argument. You made the argument. Good point. Okay, Elizabeth,
Also, though,
and then
if you think about it, the Athenian not thought process, but like the value on women was a lot lower than in Sparta.
Can you give us some proof of that?
Yeah, they put people through training. Where in
Oh yeah,
Athens,
Keisha mentioned
yeah,
that.
Keisha mentioned this point that they had like school for girls too, instead of like, oh, women is just, and then they had like this philosophy that was like, oh, women is like in the world you can see, but men is in the world that you can't. I don't. Can you explain,
Yeah.
like,
Plato's philosophy
Yeah,
of
Plato
earthly,
and
women
his-
are earthly and men are spiritual.
Yeah. That philosophy.
Plato.
People on a whole other level, like thinking, oh, okay, these people are just like, it's not even real, because what you can see doesn't last forever. But then what you can't see lasts forever. So they were like, men is forever, but women isn't.
Okay, so they definitely
But then
they
with
looked
us-
down on
yeah,
women.
We didn't have that same philosophy. Like, they were important to the culture. I know, like, because if they didn't have women, they couldn't have more soldiers. I know that sounds bad, but it's true.
Okay. Was that the only any other value besides that the Spartans put on women? Why did they train them, Keisha, for example?
well, they trained them to so that when the men went to war, that they could stay back and defend for it.
Okay, so even the women had part of the value of ancient Greek life, military abilities.
Yes.
Okay, Jiguna, you wanted to.
Yeah, the quality of life in Athens was a lot better than in Sparta, for
Oh.
example. Even the
Okay.
guys from very young age, they were taught at school, but then they had a personal tutor at their own house to teach them intellectually. So that's the societal part of Athens is still better.
Okay, so you think that like the actual living area
Yeah.
would be better.
Better.
So besides schooling, what else might be better about the Athenian way of life? Besides schooling, anything else?
Like he just said, they were taught from a young age to steal to
Yeah.
survive, and we weren't. We were taught we traded with other people, and
Oh, so you were
we influenced the whole world, and Sparta didn't only influence Greece.
Okay, good point.
And how about when babies are born, huh? So they're born. What about the sickly ones that couldn't go to war? They were thrown on a hill, left to die alone. And how about when they reached 7, they were taken from their homes and thrown into the barracks to be trained like animals.
Ooh, so it's inhumane.
It's inhumane.
That's what we were saying, right? They were too rough.
It's not.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have Keisha and then Wong and Elizabeth.
Okay, I want to say, yes, they were taken at 7, but that's so that way they could be trained so they could go out at any point in time. Not so that way that when they were 30 years old they could go out.
Okay, Wong.
And in the ancient world, the world is like not discomfortable. It's very hard, so they need to be trained in a harsh place.
Any point in time. Not so that way that when they were 30 years old they could go out.
Okay, Wong.
And in the ancient world, the world is like not discomfortable. It's very hard, so they need to be trained in a harsh place. to survive in the
So
world.
you're making an important point. In the ancient Greek context, this was necessary.
And that,
You're not saying it would be good every time in any age, but in this particular context, it was a harsh world. Need to train them harsh way from the beginning. Okay. Elizabeth. Sorry.
Like also about that thing, like throwing babies on the cliff, you know? Like, what if there's people, they have like this disease and you don't want to pass it around to everyone in the whole group? Because if everyone gets the disease, then there goes your whole civilization. Same way, or also, like, keep going with that thing, like they had women so they could have more soldiers. If they have like people that is like sickly, you know, they can't really make a good offspring and keep going, and then your whole civilization is eventually going to die. And then also the hard.
So again, you're saying the harshness of the context. It's understandable that they did these
and
things.
also about the harsh training, because like, I mean, think about it. If you have a really nice life and then you go to war all of a sudden, you're gonna be freaking out.
Yeah.
I mean, like for me, I would be freaking out if I went to be fighting in a war right now. I would be like, I would die just by looking at other people or something, because I was so scared. But for them, they see it every day, and so it's like they're just like, oh, okay, we just have to keep going because this is our culture. Like we have to do this.
I see what you're saying. If you do it from a young age, it's natural to them.
Yeah.
Rather than doing something hard, like it would be free. Good point. Okay, now, did you want to say something here? Because something was brought up here that I want to bring up again. Juguna made a point that we haven't really followed through on, and that is, and we may need to deal with this point, the legacy. What is the legacy of Athens, and what is the legacy of Sparta?
We have contributed much.
Yeah.
What have you guys? Oh,
Wait, okay.
some movie? It's from three.
Say what they contributed.
Okay, wait, I'm gonna let all three of you have a turn before they have a turn. So Leo was speaking without being recognized, so I'll let you finish, then go and Juguna.
Okay, so we have contributed much. We had philosophy, science, mathematics, literature, and drama, and other things. Oh, and what have you guys? Oh, you just took over Greece. Okay, then what? Then the Romans. No, actually no. Scratch that. But we did much. You guys just go around.
So you think there's a rich cultural heritage?
Yes.
Go.
Don't forget about those PhD and all other languages. No, that's from.
No, that's true.
Yeah, that's true, right? And yeah.
So your point is that the Greek language persists thanks to the Athenians.
Yeah.
The words, the vocabulary, those things were passed on, like the word philosophy and the word and PhD. Is that your point? That the language, that's what I'm hearing.
And also those philosophers that created math and biology. Those are philosophers from Athens too, right? Yeah. So that's it.
Okay, so all the philosophers came from Athens. You don't know of any philosophers who came from Sparta.
Yeah.
Name one.
Okay. Wait, were you guys gonna have a chance, but Juguna.
Even today, even look at Washington D.C., it's modeled after Athens. Like the buildings themselves, you look at them, well, kind of, more like Rome than Athens.
It's more than Rome, but Rome also
Took it from
took
Athens.
some from Greek, so there's
Yeah.
you're right, there's the Greek
Even
columns
today in
and things
school,
like
you're taking geometry, which was made in Athens. And even if you watch a movie today, that was started in Athens because of the comedy and dramas and whatnot.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
Good point. So much of our culture seems to be in some way a mirror of more the Athenian style life. Good point. Okay, I'll give all three of you a chance, Long first, and go across if anyone wants to say.
Okay, you say that we have now geometry and all of that stuff, but when the Persians came and invaded Greece, we give about more than 300 people to hold up the Persians for a little time, so that you have the time to move to Salamis Bay to kind of like take out all their navies. And if we didn't give our men, they would destroy all their achievement. And what is their achievement now then?
Oh, very interesting point. You're making reference to the Battle of Thermopylae, where 300 Spartans gave their lives. And if they hadn't done that, Athens might have been destroyed. There'd be no
I think he's
possible-
making reference to the one of
Interesting point.
Salamis Bay.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is, but
Kind of
Thermopylae came first,
Oh, I
and that
see- I
gave them
see
the
what you're saying.
time to regroup and go to Salamis Bay. Did you have a point there, Keisha?
And also, another point back to the Battle of Thermopylae. If you remember, those people, even though they died at that one, right? Like, they kept fighting until they couldn't fight anymore. Like, they were just like, I'm gonna do this, even though we know we're probably gonna fail in the very end, maybe. It's like, they had, like, okay, we're just gonna keep going. Like, you know how, like, even now, we're like, okay, we just have to do something because we have to do it. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of thing. They were
They had
like,
perseverance.
perseverance. They're like, we're gonna protect whole of Greece, even though we know probably in the end, you know, just do it, you know? And so, like, also, like, loyalty, bravery, that kind of thing. And also another thing of our, like, heritage, not heritage, I don't know the right word, but anyway, like, the educational system, like, it was strict, and, like, even now, in some places, there's strict educational system.
Okay. But I think that Wong has a really
Yes,
interesting
I like
point too.
that
These
point.
2 points
I was
connected
gonna
together,
say that,
their
but
qualities.
Yeah.
No, both points put together, their qualities that were really Greek qualities, not just Spartan qualities, that we see in Thermopylae. And if they had not been, what if they had run away like all the others? Would Athens even have been there? Would there have ever been a philosopher?
Okay, so, okay, you guys, but who ultimately won the war against the Persians? It was Athens, not you guys. And why would you defend Athens? Well, if
Oh, you mean
look on,
Salamis Bay?
yeah,
Okay.
and Athens, if you can see Athens, when the Persians were coming, they would go through Athens first and then to Sparta. So you guys were just defending Athens, so just because you were so you wouldn't be destroyed. It's out of a selfish cause.
Oh, so you think they were defending you simply because you were like a buffer to prevent their area? Okay, interesting point.
Yeah.
Over here? Okay.
Okay, about selfish desires. Doesn't everyone have a selfish desire? Like, look at Athens.
Oh my
First of all,
goodness.
going back to the democracy and all those leaders that were like, "Ooh, we'll be so nice to you," but really, it was only to raise them up. Like, you know?
Okay. Keisha, did you want to say something?
No, go ahead.
So you can say it if you want.
You can say first.
Okay. I'm not safe. Yeah, and what about like the democracy as well?
Listen.
What about all of the people who died because of it? Like Socrates, for instance. And all of them because they were selfish and they thought they wanted to get higher, and when in reality they just got lower and lower.
Okay.
You said you made great achievements, but I'll just say it again. That in the doctrine of, the teachings of Plato, yes, because of him, the women were put to lower position than they were before.
So not all of their great achievements were that great.
Yeah.
Some of their great achievements posed problems for centuries. Ooh, that's a good point. Sorry. I love that point. Anybody want to respond here? Okay, we're getting down to the last few minutes, so I want to see if you have any wrap-up statements. Okay, but I just want one other thing that the Athenians might want to think about. What if we bring up their legacy all the way to today? What is Athens today? What is Sparta today? You want to say anything to that?
Yeah.
What is Athens today?
Like the education, well, the actual place is ruined, but people still visit to
No, it's
history.
not all ruined. What is it today?
It's the
It's the capital of the country of Greece.
Where's Sparta?
Where is it? It's gone. It's dead.
I can't find Sparta.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the point?
Athens still Athens lives.
Okay, Athens lives. It's still the capital of all of Greece, united Greece today. And what is Sparta today? Okay, did you want to say anything to that?
All your sacrifices.
All your
And then 300 Spartas.
Okay, that's true. But it doesn't answer that question, but it's just a point of where it's headed.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the legacy now still lives on, but because of us Spartans, it still lives on.
Okay, last little question. They won the Peloponnesian War. Did they win it all by themselves?
No, you had Persia.
Who did they get help from?
You got
They got help from Persia.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to have anything to say about that?
guys cheated on it.
You just straight up cheated.
Okay, they're Greeks and they went to help from whom?
Persia. Traitors.
Okay, guys, come on.
What about their honor as Spartans?
We did
Why
all
did you go
that.
to
We fight in the land, but
Okay.
we get navy from that place and then
but
fight
still.
if we want.
Alright, well, yes, we did take help from the Persians, but we were going against you guys, and so when we were going against you guys, we needed help. So, and plus, if we didn't get help from the Persians, you guys wouldn't be there.
Okay?
Also, it shows that we have like skill because we can cooperate with people who don't agree with us on everything, even when we need something else.
Okay, and what was your weakness that you needed the Persians for, by the way?
Ships.
Ships. You didn't have a navy. The Persians helped them with their one weakness, and you
And then
guys
we
have
just
a
won.
navy, right?
And then
Okay.
we
This
got
is our
maybe,
honor.
like
What if
free.
you Persia never helped you?
Oh.
But
But what would happen?
You betrayed Greece just to take over Athens
Oh,
because you're warlike. What if
Okay.
Persia never offered to help?
Alright, we have to stop for now, of course. And I mean, as you did a good job. You did a very good job. As you can see, there's good and bad on all sides, isn't there? And we all have weak points. Hopefully we can learn from each group's weak points and also learn from their strengths.